All right, everybody, welcome to the Nightly Painting Studio. It is good to be with you. My name's Corbin. I'm the Nightly Painter, and yeah, excited for doing a little live stream tonight, getting back into the swing of things. It's going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays around 10:30 in the evening, and so excited to get back into that rhythm. It's going to be really great. I noticed that we've had a couple viewers, and just as you are jumping on right now, let me know what you're working on. I gotta know what you're working on. So, hey, the whole goal here is that you feel like a part of the community here, and you can be a part of the community at Nightly Painting Studio. And we got a Discord for that, so I'm going to throw that Discord link into our comments here. We got a growing little community over there that is just awesome to be a part of, and we would love for you to be a part of that if you are not already. So, Phlogiston, see you in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, it's gonna be a good night. I was having a couple of issues the last time with OBS and stuff, so let me know if for some reason there's any glitchiness or dropped frames or anything like that. It seems to be pretty steady tonight, which is good, but who knows once I switch over to the desk cam what it's gonna do. So yeah, but whether you're watching this right now live with me or you are watching in the future, let me know what kind of hobby project you're working on, whether that is a building project, painting project, 3D printing. I want to know it all. Super excited to hang out with you guys tonight. So this stream will be about an hour, and I'm just going to continue to work on the Tempestus Aquilons. So that is what I'm going to jump over to here in just a second. Turns out when you blackline everything, and not like pen wash type of blackline, but when you just black in all of the details that are not the armor, it takes a while. So I'm gonna try not to bore y'all, but I think watching the process will actually be maybe informative for some people about how I go about kind of differentiating the different sections of the miniature that I'm working on. And one of the first steps that generally I do is I get kind of the main color down, and then I will just spend time taking just black paint and blacking out everything that is not that main color. Now, if it doesn't make sense, if it's going to be like a white or something like that, I wouldn't black out that section. But pretty much, if it's going to be most colors, I want a little bit of separation. So I want that black paint to kind of get down in the crevices around the details. And then that way when I paint the detail, there's still that little bit of a thin line of separation in there. And I know that people go about doing that a lot of different ways, and this probably isn't the most efficient way, but it's the way that I have tended to work. And I know many others that do the same. So it's just part of my process right now, and if I find a way of doing it that's a lot faster and still is gets the result I'm looking for, then hey, it'll be good. But always open to suggestions from you guys as well. So if you have a way that you go about creating definition on your minis that you want to share with me, I would love to know. So drop it in the comments, and let's chat about it. So, all right, I'm gonna pop over to the desk cam here, and we'll get going from there. Okay, I'm gonna shift this just a little tad here. Looks like it kind of got knocked out of its spot. Hang tight. That's a little better. All right, that should do. Yeah, so I meant to mention this. Obviously, we want our community to grow. We want our channel to grow. We want our Discord to grow. More people to talk to, more people to learn from, more people to hang out with in the Discord. And so, I think as much as you can do to like this video, share, subscribe if you haven't already, all of that helps, and it really just helps to get the word out there. And I'll say this too, like if you got buddies that are in the hobby that you think would really enjoy this type of content, hanging out, painting, maybe learn a little something along the way, send it to them. Share the stream with them right now, and see if they're able to hang out with us, because I think it'd be a ton of fun. So cool. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back into these guys. And right now you see my just huge mess of black paint over here. What I ended up using on a couple of these last ones was actually a mix of contrast Black Legion and this 950 black, which I'm not even sure they actually make this anymore, but and if not, that's a crime, because this is probably the best black paint I've used. Okay. Seems like I'm getting some glitching. Phlogiston, if you're still on there, let me know. Looks like Phlogiston is removing supports from a bunch of D&D models for print. Nice. Always in that 3D printing life, man. It was cool to see that you got some paint on some of your minis over the holidays. Or maybe not some of your minis, but some of your friends' minis. Can't remember if they were yours or if they were for a buddy. He says always be removing supports. Yeah, get that. So you can kind of see where I started working on this guy. And you know, what we're actually going for is this. So just blocking in all of those details that are not going to be that main armor color. And it takes a little bit. It's kind of a pain, but it is well worth it for the definition that you get out of it. So that's where we're at. And I'm just going to start blocking these in. And like some parts, it really matters that the black is fully black. And then in other sections of the mini, it actually really doesn't matter. Just that the crevices are black, like the deepest sections of the detail are black. So like on the trousers here, on the pants, fatigues, whatever you want to call them, it actually matters quite a bit that these are black, because the color is going to be a really dark gray, and black is going to kind of act as our base coat. So we want those to have a good solid coat of black paint. But then in other areas, like for the gold trim and stuff, like it doesn't have to be fully black. Just as long as those darkest parts have a nice black line, we'll be good. Phlogiston says, if only they were his. Yeah. No, man, you gotta slap some paint on some of your own stuff. like I said, this process is going to take a little time, and that's okay. And you'll notice I'm using a decently sized brush for this. You're slapping paint in details. Use a sharp brush, but use a big brush. I'm not trying to pick out an eye or anything. Which, I mean, you can also do with a big brush, but takes a little bit more steadiness. Chat, let me know what you think about all of the new minis coming out recently. We have a whole crazy boatload of brand new minis that are hitting the shelves. We got Eldar, we got Deathcore Krieg. Have a whole new Slanesh range of Marines that are coming out for the Emperor's Children. Honestly, I think they've done a very great job on the designs for all of them. I may have to get me a little Eldar force at some point. Just big enough for boarding actions games. A bunch of the cool aspect warriors, you know. A bunch of aspect warriors storming a ship. I think it'd be pretty cool. Have all the guardians actually be the Corsair models. From Kill Team. I think it's a pretty cool idea. Just very carefully just working our way around all the details on the model here. Just now joining, let me know what you are working on, what's currently on your hobby desk. continuing to block this guy in. And I'll say this, you can kind of do it, I mean, for at least the process that I'm doing for these minis, you can kind of do the order of things either way. Like I could have done, and I did do the chipping on the armor on some of these before I did the black. For this particular miniature, I'm just doing the black before I do the armor chipping, and it really won't make a difference. I might get some Rhinox hide on the black part, but I mean, it's not really a big deal. Phlogiston, how did the painting on those on that commission for your friend go, or is it still in progress, or how's that going so far? I know they were looking pretty good last time I saw them. So Ultramarines, Reavers, if I remember correctly. So all of these sections of the backpack here that I'm going to want to be metallic, I am going to just give a pretty simple base coat of this black. I don't want to go crazy. Try and jam my brush in there to get to it and get paint on something else, right? Like that's really not what I'm after here. What I am after is creating that nice black line around the details. And blocking in the parts that are supposed to be black. Kind of doing all that at the same time. And obviously, you know, if you need to use a smaller brush for certain sections, use a smaller brush for certain sections. So much of painting is knowing the order of operations of things. When to do this step, when to do that step, how this step interacts with the next one, all that kind of stuff. Because when you're doing a little more high level paint jobs, like the finish and how the paints interact, and you know, which extra techniques are you using, or that kind of stuff, all that kind of stuff starts to come into play. And you don't have to do any of those things. You can paint a great model without doing that type of stuff. But I find that a lot of times those different techniques will really elevate the look of your miniatures. And most of them, honestly, are not rocket science. Even though I feel like I watch some of these pro painters and it's like watching a rocket scientist. So that's where we're at right now. You can see right here, I'm just trying to let that paint fall in that crevice right around the detail. The paint's going to be thin enough that it is running enough to do that. Yet it's also thick enough to give you a nice finish. And you know where you don't have to go over the details like a bazillion times on the mini. It's helpful too. Icons and symbols and stuff. I'm gonna block those in too. Especially on these really small details. It's gonna matter a lot. That we have blocked these. Sometimes concentrating makes it hard to finish my sentences. This isn't the most exciting step in painting miniatures, but honestly, I think it's one of the more worthwhile ones. Even more than just creating definition between the parts of sections of the mini, and I think it honestly makes it easier for me to see what I'm working on a lot of times too. Because it really creates that definition between the details, and it shows me which details I need to be working on. Whereas I think when you kind of just have like a blob of color, like all of these started after the airbrush phase, you know, you just kind of are looking at this mini and you're like, what was I supposed to be painting again? And you know, maybe you don't struggle with that, but a lot of times I do. If I don't take the time to go through and do this part of the mini, because you know, you can even see the armor plates are really standing out now against that black. And most of this black is not going to stay black, but it's going to help us differentiate between the sections of the miniature. So I'd highly encourage you to do something like this for yourself. Whether that's just slapping a little bit of contrast paint on there, or it's, you know, fully going in and blacking out each area like I'm doing. I think as long as you're doing something to help yourself create the definition you want and also be able to see all of the details, I think it's super helpful. And I don't know, maybe you just paint and slap an oil wash on or whatever at the end of the project. That could definitely be a solution as well. Only doing 10 of these. It's really not that crazy difficult or annoying to do, and I find that it helps me do a lot of the work early on of just defining and separating the sections. So. we've got a few people watching right now. If you have joined the stream, welcome. Would love to know what you are working on. This stream is meant to be a space to work on your hobby projects with other people. So let me know what you are working on. I always like to hear what kind of projects people are excited about, you know? What's up, Troy? Welcome to the stream. And welcome to the Nightly Painting Studio. Let's see here. He says, always such fun. Unfortunately, this week back is killing me. I think I'm all painted out. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, it can be really hard to just kind of sit in one position for a little while, for sure. So, but he's wiring up in scepter units for LED fit. LED lights. Nice. Red and blue for ultramarine units. That's super cool. That's really cool. Kudos to you for having the patience to do LED lights on things that are so tiny. That cannot be easy. Phlogiston, how are the Vespid coming? They are sitting here mostly assembled on the desk. Man, really, I gotta figure out how to attach these heads, and how many of them I want to have the cool helmeted heads you printed off for me, man. That's where I'm at. But all the bodies and weapons and stuff are assembled. So just gotta figure out how much green stuff work I'm gonna have to do. To get those ready for paint. Also, I'll say this too: if you're watching right now and you have any painting questions, always happy to field those. I don't know everything, but I do know quite a bit about painting, so lob them out there. I will take a crack at them. Glad the audio came back for you, Flo. Also wasn't talking a whole lot, so sometimes you get in that like zen state. Get painting. Closing in on finishing out the black on this guy, which is cool. I'll tell you what though, there's a lot of little tiny details on these. No way I'd do a whole army like this, but can do a kill team. You'd have to find a quicker process, I think, for this, or maybe just be a faster painter than I am. But the only thing about airbrushing gradients onto your models, it looks so good, but it is hard to go back and correct if you make a mistake. So you just kind of have to be pretty careful. Warhammer Community Facebook for looking the red for now while waiting on cables and batteries and cutting out coin bases for the fitting. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy, Troy. See if I can't. Polish off the. I try not to, think too much about the mistakes. Also, this is why you battle damage your miniatures. It's the actual reason you battle damage your miniatures. then your mistakes don't look so much like mistakes. As you know, Bob Ross said, they're just happy little accidents at that point. All right, cool. So now to reward myself for finishing the blacking in of this miniature, what I'm going to do is I am going to paint the stripes, and I did this on the last stream, but I'm going to be using these two colors. So one is Surfer Orc Flesh from the Scale 75 Fantasy and Games. The other is Pale Gray Blue. Really, you just kind of need a teal color, like a green blue and a pale blue, at least for the orange color on these. Okay, and then we're going to put a little bit of this pale blue down. And you know, the idea is that we're going to take just a little bit of this and a little bit of that, mix it up, create a nice kind of pale turquoise color. Get a nice tip on our brush, and then we are just going to freehand a stripe on the shoulder here. I'm gonna see if I can get a little closer here. We're just going to use that detail right there, that raised detail on the shoulder pad here, as kind of our guide to where we're going to put this line. Okay, so there we go. There's our initial line there. Also going to make one here. So there's that on the knee. We're going to do another line in the same way over here. Okay, so we have our first lines on there, and what I'm actually going to do is go around to these other minis while I'm kind of in the zone here, and even though these don't have the black lining on them, I'm just going to go ahead and Troy is saying he's got an original metal body. The Blood Angel's 99. Wow. Head in the drop decorations in 3 bits looks like chaos. Must have had an issue with. Oh wow, yeah. Crazy. And he says he has a Terminator Cyclone missile old hand sensor. Nice, with a missing leg back. Wow. Oh yeah, I don't know. What was supposed to be there and what's actually there is kind of hard to tell on some of those older minis. Detail wasn't quite as crisp. Jose, thank you. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the chat. Thanks for jumping in. Yeah, you know, it's actually orange. I know it could probably it does look a little bit yellow on the screen here, but it is actually orange. And here is one of the finished minis. So the orange on him is a little more dull than the other ones. I did this as a test model, and so it's a little more dull, but overall happy with the scheme and how it's coming out so far. So thank you. Jose, what are you working on right now? What's your project at the moment, if you have one? There's that line for the knee pad. Okay, on to the next. I love this demo guy. He's so cool looking. Jose says, trying to knock out some Terminators and Dreadnoughts for Templars. Yes, come on. That is the 40k army I currently have the most painted for. It's the Templars. Some more Templar tutorial videos this year coming out. Just being apologize if you guys cannot see this on the camera very well. But there's the stripes in the boom. While I had the paint mixture out here, I figured I'd just go ahead and knock some of the other ones out. And thank you, Jose, about the haircut. I actually feel like I need one. But thank you all the same. I tried to change up the posing on some of these guys. So I have the sergeant with the sword out running. It's good. Seems like it's the orange is coming up really yellow on the screen. I guess in person they're a lot more orange. See, here's a yellow. A lot more on the orange spectrum. Yeah, I used this Fire Dragon Bright through the airbrush. I just gave a couple really thin layers over a white zenithal highlight. So, yeah, turned out pretty good. I'm happy with how the colors came out. So. Right now, just blocking in these little freehand stripes. Not really trying to do anything too difficult, just getting them nice and locked in here. Because I'm going to come back over them with a highlight color. Jose, yeah, I mean, I'm glad you popped in as well. I'll be working on these for a little bit, most likely, because it's taking me a little while to get through them. So, hit that subscribe, man. I'm generally streaming Tuesdays and Thursdays fairly regularly about this time of night. So love to have you back on the stream. Also, I posted it earlier, but let me post it up here again. I have a Discord for our community here, where we all talk about painting and printing and all kinds of different miniature hobby topics. So feel free to jump in there, man. We would love to have you. Welcome back to the stream, my friend. It's good to see you in the chat. I'm finally back after all the holiday craziness. So yeah, good to be painting regularly again. Well, I tell you what, doing this type of stuff, have a brush with a nice sharp point. That's all I'm gonna say. Where I'm gonna do the stripe on this guy yet. Maybe right down the center there. Where do you guys think I should do the stripe on this boy? He's a good little servo sentry. Sorry, it's out of focus. Let's see here. Francis got to pre-order the Eldar stuff. Nice. Yeah, I figured you might be excited about the massive Eldar release that just happened. Super cool. I am extremely thankful that they just stuck true to the classics for Eldar. The poses, the aesthetic, the look. It all just was really good. Really, really good. Two stripes at 45s down each side, meeting on the top of the robot's back. Oh, okay. Thin white chevrons. Yeah, I could see that. Just not 100% sure of the design I want to do. I'll check and see what they did on the box art, but I don't remember there being any chevrons on the sentry for the box art. I could be very wrong. go. Okay, so I could do a stripe down the middle of the legs. That would give me that blue. And then I could do like a stripe down the middle of this. I don't really want to do anything on this section. I want that to kind of stay that nice orange, to be honest. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this is an well, that worked out. Sometimes you just try stuff and it works. You're like, I knew it would work. And if it doesn't, you figure out a way to fix it. So. I actually like the more straight stripes on this guy. With all the different like angles and parts and pieces and stuff on this, I think just keeping it more simple is probably the way to go. Okay. Boom. Alright, so all of the blue, initial blue of the stripes is done. And now I'm just going to take some of this pale blue and use that as my highlight color. just enough. You can still kind of tell where that blue is underneath. This type of stuff takes concentration. I apologize for not being as talkative tonight. Okay, there's that. Earlier when we were blacking everything in. So it's going to end up looking a little more on the white side of things. But like for this one here, I'm really going to focus this on the front section of this right here. Kind of towards the bottom of these. So now we've got a little bit of a gradient on there. looking good. Clean this brush off a little bit. Phlogiston, I will see you later, my friend. Hopefully it made all of the support removal a little more bearable. And you are welcome. It's a lot of fun for me as well. And that is actually where I am going to call it quits as well tonight. I only planned on being on here about an hour. It's been about an hour and a half. So yeah. I'll just kind of take a look at our progress tonight. Shaping up pretty well. To give you a look at another guy that's just slightly further along. This guy has the battle damage on his armor as well, which really helps to kind of break everything up a little bit. Tone that orange down. So there we go. I will be right back for a close. All right. Oop. There we go. What's going on? Hey, thanks for hanging out tonight on the stream. This was a lot of fun. Thanks for participating in the chat as well. Francis, Troy, Jose, Phlogiston. I think we had one more earlier. Maybe that was it. Yeah, that was it for tonight. Thank you guys for participating, and like I said, if you haven't already, jump in that Discord. I'll put the link in here one more time. Really would love to see you over on that community. Chat more. You can share what you're working on, photos, ask questions of the community, that kind of stuff. So we got a nice growing community over there. So yeah, it's a great spot to be, and thanks for hanging out and painting with me tonight. Hopefully you were able to get some work done on your own, or maybe just pass the time. doing something and listening to me ramble. But share this with people you know that might like this content. Like I said, we do generally Tuesdays and Thursdays here on the channel, and then occasionally I'll set up one that is just within the Discord as well, so that we can actually all like kind of video talk to each other, which is pretty cool. So yeah, would love to have y'all in the Discord, and invite your friends to check out the channel. There's a whole host of live streams that you can go back and watch on there. There's also a number of different tutorials, some basics of airbrushing type of stuff, if you're interested in that. Most recently did a Black Templar Dreadnought tutorial, which was pretty cool. I thought that turned out pretty well, so you'll have to let me know what you think. Yeah, so thank you so much for hanging out tonight. My name's Corbin, and it's been good hanging out with you. I will see you Thursday for our next live stream, and until then, take care and keep painting. See ya.